Welcome back to another episode of the Hey Eintracht Frankfurt podcast, the Bundesliga podcast covering everything there is to know in the English language about Eintracht Frankfurt. I don't know if we're the greatest club in the Bundesliga in Germany, but we're a lot better of a club than VfL Bochum. We'll explain why. And Borussia Mönchengladbach while we're at it. Garret Kobat's here at Metro Detroit. It is Monday, November the 4th, time of recording this, almost 8 Eastern. I am not alone. Joining me, as seems to be my partner in crime lately in here, John Ben in Delaware. How are you, good sir?
Dude, doing great. It's been quite the week in Eintracht land. Even today's result being a draw, man, it's been a great week for us. I love it.
So we'll kind of give you a rundown we'll do a brief note of the Pokal match that took place during the middle of last week, along with that draw. The Männers match against Bochum Saturday. Hell of a way to start a weekend. And then the Frauen's matchup that took, as John alluded to, early this afternoon. I wasn't that we weren't able to see a lot of that second half. I can only imagine how the players felt in Munich. We'll talk about that on there. Let's roll in briefly, real quick. Ways to check out the channel. Go to hefpod.com for all things Hey Eintracht Frankfurt podcast, prior episode histories, map of where you can find people, all that fun stuff. There might be even some more things that we got in line on there. Of course, this YouTube channel, Hey Eintracht Frankfurt, hit that like, hit that subscribe. The more you do that, we can do some cool shit live, but we need to build the subscribers up, folks. And then we'll also be adding to that later on this week when we recap the Adler Europa. Damn, we're already there again. But we'll get to the future. Let's talk about the most recent. Kind of covered in a recap the Adler, one of the last ones. Eintracht Frankfurt 2, Borussia Mönchengladbach 1 in DFB Pokal play. I'll hand it to John to get his thoughts briefly on there, but really just a brief thing, as I mentioned, 15th minute. Arthur Tayat and that Waldstadion pitch did not get along because when he was one-on-one in a goal-scoring chance, he slipped and unfortunately due to what the DFB call unsportsmanlike conduct, fuckers, set off straight red card, 2-game ban for the next DFB Pokal matches. However, Eintracht Frankfurt looked a hell of a lot better with 10 men than Mönchengladbach did with 11 for part of it. Mönchengladbach had the ball. The Adler had the intent. Hugo Ekitike just before half, solo effort. I forget who it was for Mönchengladbach that equalized in the second half, but Omar Marmoush in close space and then putting on a frightening mask, which kind of like how the attack terrified Mönchengladbach. 2-1, the Adler advance. The draw took place Sunday. A trip to the sugar drink land, RB Leipzig, in early February. I'm guessing late January, early February of 2025.
Either December 3rd or 4th, actually, of this year.
Oh shit, it's early.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm used to like 5 years ago when we played RB Leipzig because we beat St. Pauli on like Halloween. That like literally 5 years to the day of the Mönchengladbach match, and then the next fixture wasn't until February when I was there. So. But hell of a win, John. Your thoughts, your quick thoughts on it and the draw.
You know what, Tayata, he slipped, he fell, he purposely grabbed that ball, deserved red card. I think he should have just let it go and see what Kevin Trapp could have done on that, but whatever, he made the decision, clear red. I can't believe he got a 2-game ban out of that. That's kind of wild to me. 1 game would have been more than enough for that. But honestly, after that, we looked like the better side. We clearly wanted that game, and goddamn, did we look good with 10 men. Yeah, we didn't have the possession, but we did a lot more with our possession. We had more shots on target than them. Yeah, great game. Really gritty game from us. Nnamdi Collins coming on to replace Tayata, essentially. I know Dina Mbembe got taken off for him. Thought he looked amazing during that game, too. Yeah. That was a really, really fun game, and how the mask from Marmoush was elite. The pictures of that they just go so hard.
I think it's interesting when also Nathaniel Brown's first game getting some action on there. We'll talk about how big you had mentioned Nnamdi Collins, how big those two played in Saturday's fixture. It continues to impress me, and I think Niko Kovac talked about this recently. We noticed this in our Discord, which if you haven't said, hey, Eintracht Frankfurt Discord, check it out. It's a fun time. We talk about a lot of things, especially including anything. Anyway, I'm losing track of thought. But anyway, I feel like we're seeing more and more like examples of what we were hoping to see last year from Dino and this side really coming to fruition, because when they want to play, they can play. And I agree with you with Taya. I think unsportsmanlike conduct with this situation is in there. I wonder if it has to do because of the double yellow red in the previous league match, if that's part of it. I do know somebody got 4 games in the DFB and another ruling, so I wonder if they're just being heavy-handed and setting precedent with this.
No, I didn't see the incident with that one, but I heard it was pretty bad. So that one a little bit different than handling a ball, I feel like. But yeah, still.
But yeah. So how do you feel about the Leipzig draw?
I don't like it, obviously. I think Leipzig are really good. I know they kind of laid a stinker on the weekend, but they're still a really, really good side. Thought it was kind of funny. Matt from EFCDC hit me up and was like, so do you think the Pokal draw was rigged? Because we have 1v4 and 2v3 in this match day. Thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think we can do it. I think we play Leipzig right around them as well in the league. So it's going to be a big week for both Pokal and league in that span. I mean, look, you know what? At the end of the day, if we want to win the Pokal, we have to beat some good opponents. Why not try and eliminate one of the worst right away?
And, it's one of those things. December 3rd is the Pokal matchup, 2:45 Eastern on there. 11 days later, they have to go back. The Adler have to go back to Leipzig. A little bit of a tight stretch. That game's going to probably, that game's going to be pushed to Sunday, December 15th, because there's a Europa match on Thursday, December 12th. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's like we beat Leipzig for the first time earlier this year in Leipzig. Stole 3 points. Now that we're playing confident, I can see us going in there again. There's a handful of matches. There's a handful of matches in the European break to come before we go to Leipzig in the Pokal. I think a lot of things can change for both us and RB Leipzig. So I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll kind of be the same confident thing I said in the Discord. Fuck them. We're going to win. On now to one thing we did confirm that happened. And we are shocked that we got to witness this in person. We had to make sure this wasn't a dream. We weren't hallucinating or whatever it was. Eintracht Frankfurt 7, VfL Bochum 2. We'll explain why this is a fucked up stat number 1. There's multiple that we'll talk about over the course of things. 4-4-2 for the Adler in this matchup. Collins on the right, Brown on the left in the back four. Bahoya, Knopf in with the Howard and Shkiri. And then the gruesome twosome of Ekatike and Marmush. Opening things up, Hugo Ekatike in the 9th minute. Then Ekatike in the 9th, Marmush in the 18th, Knopf in the 20th, Nathaniel Brown on the 32nd after a heater of a ball from Monty Collins. DeWitt pulls one back in the 35th. But then Dahoud in the 60th. Well, Hoffman in the 51st. And then Dahoud in the 61st, Kam Ujan in the 66th, and then Ekatike in the 9th. The 69th minute. It's definitely the nicest goal he's ever scored. It was fun, dude. Tell me through how you're feeling on that.
That was just an absolutely incredible match. I was going to brunch with my brother and some of my cousins. I'm just watching the game on my phone in the car, and we're up, 4-0 already by the time we even get there. It was incredible. We just completely dominated them. The passing from our team, especially in that first half, was just on point, really. And with heavy rotation. Brown in there, Collins in there, necessity because Teat was out. And even Bahoya, he didn't get on the score sheet at all, either with an assist or a goal, but I thought he played a decent game as well.
He was causing havoc.
Yeah, no, he was looking good. I was excited for that. Man, Skiri, I think he's back. He's looked really good these past few games. Him getting rid of that mask.
Great feed to the hood.
Yep.
I think it tells you something when you can rest Hugo Larsson he doesn't come in until the 73rd, and you have a good amount of rotation. Ujan coming in there and looking sharp. I just think this match, Bochum aside, had a lot of questions, answered a lot of questions. And that was, when are we going to see some of these guys we haven't seen yet? How would they respond when shining, when given their moment to make an impact? Are they going to need to get comfortable, get the juices going? Or are they going to be able to go right into it like they've been playing together multiple games this year? Question answered. I'll give credit to Bochum. They're a side that is struggling, to say the least. Maybe their worst start of all their starts so far in their now fourth season up.
It is
not good.
Their previous worst start, they were also on 1 point facing us in the 9th match day. I believe this was, 1 or 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago. That fucking sucked.
Us, and we're able to climb out. But this year we were able to reverse the script, thankfully.
I will say they went down fighting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know that obviously we kind of sat back a little bit, but those first 20 minutes or 15-ish minutes of the second half, they were pushing hard. And obviously they ended up getting a goal back, and 4-2, it's like, man, are we about to blow this? And then after that, we started to take it a little more seriously again and finish them off. But yeah,
8 on target by Bochum out of 11 shots, 9 on target out of 18 for us. You're talking about the passing, 501 passes completed, an 85% percentage, 65% possession. I mean, they just came in and they rolled. We looked good. Dino looked crushing with that look. Dino's confident, and if this squad's confident and Dino's confident too, y'all are fucked. Should we hit him with the fucked up stats on?
Absolutely.
So normally we like to roll with this stuff live, but Chris is in Germany right now, and he has the ability. So he popped a question to us. I think it was Chris. Was it Chris, or was it Chris and Austin? It was huh?
It was one of them. I don't remember.
I think it was Monroe. And he goes to us. Let me bring it up here because I want to revisit this feeling like I'm going through the Discord, because you knew what was happening. You're like, oh shit, here we go. Oh fuck, this is it. And here we go. You asked the question: Does the goal total for Bochum does the entire goal total on Saturday beat Bochum since that we've played in the previous 6 matchups before promotion? Chris is then like, Garrett, here's your fucked up stat opportunity. And I'm like, y'all want it now because I have it ready. And you were ready. Chris and Austin did the Michael Scott like, oh, this isn't puckery, this isn't good. That's a drum roll. In the previous 6 times that Eintracht Frankfurt played BFL Bochum before Saturday, they had scored a total of 5 goals. They were clean sheeted in 2 of them. In fact, their one win in these 6 on because it gets even better, March 13th, 2022, Chris Monroe and I were with Chris and Angie and the Austin crew. A 2-1 come from behind win again in Bochum. We watched that together in Austin. That was also the last league campaign win of Eintracht Frankfurt, that Bundesliga, for 2 months. The year we also won the Europa League and decided to go Champions League. fucked up. So yes, we scored 2 more goals on Saturday than we did in the previous 6. It was one of those results where my buddy catches up, my Majors Detroit Channel 451 production creator. We were in the media tent on Saturday for Detroit City's playoff heartbreak. I'm not going to talk about it, but he's like, "Holy shit, y'all! What did you do?" It was one of those. I think in the donor chat, they were like, "What is going on with y'all?" That's a result I think that made shockwaves.
Yep.
And it shows that it's not just Bayern that can put these amount of goals back in the net. So, final thoughts on this one before we quickly go around the Bundesliga?
I will say, look, Bochum, they are pretty terrible this year, honestly. So I think we have to take it with a slight grain of salt. But at the same time, the way that we were just precision passing, the finishes were amazing. Yeah, should we have necessarily gotten 7? I don't know, but it was a really, really dominant performance against a team that we have not had any of in the season since they've gotten promoted the most recently. So, yeah, this team is, I hate to say it just to not jinx us, but, man, we're built different than previous years.
Yeah, agreed. And it tells you that we were scared as shit coming into this game because of we've said it before, trap matches, Moody Diva, Lanish Diva, everything. And we responded well. We took the momentum of the Pokal and took it to another level. So to Dino, to the lads, well done. Keep it going. You ain't done yet. Around the Bundesliga, the rest of the weekend matchups. Friday opened things up. Bayer Leverkusen, VfB Stuttgart. John, I'll admit I did not get a chance to watch the highlight videos, so I'll lean on you for anything that you've seen. Bayer Leverkusen, Stuttgart, that was 0-0. Bayern Munich 3-0 over Union Berlin. So, Union did respectable by the looks of it, and not allowing too many goals, but Bayern did Bayern. Hoffenheimer now in the bottom 3, losing 0-2 to St. Pauli. My prediction of St. Pauli stayed up is looking real good now. Holstein Kiel, well done, lads. 1-0 over Heidenheim. Wolfsburg, Augsburg, 1-1. The Tippspiel, 12:30. I didn't, this is, I'm like, how do I describe this matchup? Meteor? Yeah, this is a meteor match. This is a fucking meteor match for me. I was not watching it because John knows I was busy watching Wolves Crystal Palace. Shout out to Ollie Glasner and Daichi Kamada. Once Frankfurt, always Frankfurt, and also currently Eagles still. Waiting for the barber. Leipzig jumped out ahead. Dortmund fought back. 2-1 winners, especially with Dortmund being knocked out of the Pokal in midweek. Sunday, Freiburg Mainz 0-0. I did watch a little bit of Borussia Mönchengladbach, Werder Bremen. 4-1. Gladbach, I think we're pissed off.
Yeah. Dude, Tim Kleindienst, too. What a player. He, gets credited with an official assist on all 3 of their normal goals. He caused the own goal. So, essentially really 4 assists, and they were really nice balls, too. The dude, he's not just scoring goals, he's assisting. What a player he's been for Mönchengladbach. That was a win that they really needed, after losing to us in the Pokal, despite being up a man for 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Dortmund was another team that really needed a win, and they put in the performance that deserved it. They heavily outplayed Leipzig and came away with a deserved victory. They have been on a terrible run of form, both in league and losing out in the Pokal to Wolfsburg. That was super necessary. Leverkusen Stuttgart, I was half watching this game at work because it was a little boring, but Leverkusen pretty much dominated that game. Alexander Nubel rescued a point for Stuttgart, honestly. But again, Leverkusen's finishing could have been a lot better as well.
Yeah. What any other matches you have some thoughts on?
Those are the only ones that I got to watch other than Frankfurt. I did watch the highlights video. Bayern, that's kind of a statement win, I feel like, honestly. I know it's at home against Union, but they did not allow Union a lot and broke down their defense. St. Pauli getting the win against Hoffenheim. I know that they didn't have a lot of control over that game, but when they had their chances, they made them count. Hoffenheim's in a bad spot. I hope they go down, and I hope that St. Pauli stays up. Kiel, congratulations, guys. First victory first ever victory in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be enough for them to stay up, but I would not mind seeing them somehow make a great escape.
Brian, our fearless leader, Brian, has made a great point in that when an advantage for Holstein Kiel happens in these months, especially in the winter, because they are the most northern team in the top flight, it gets fucking cold. And if you look now, as I read through this table, Bochum rock bottom with still 1 point out of 9, 29 goals conceded. Holstein Kiel are up to 5 points now. Win, 2 draws, 6 points, 11 goals. They've allowed 23, but they've seemed to start thinning out the goals allowed. They're 3 points back of both Hoffenheim, who are in the playoff spot now with that loss, and St. Pauli. Might be able to grind some results here and there. Without, as the gap is not created in there, they might be able to get out of this. And Chris, I know, had him staying up for some rows, so it's potential. We mentioned St. Pauli's out of the zone. They're in 15th, level on Hoffenheim, better goal difference. Wolfsburg only 1 point ahead of them in 14th with 9. Mainz and Heidenheim. Mainz are 13th, Heidenheim and 12th. We're at 10, both with 10 points. Heidenheim the better goal difference. Augsburg in 11th with 11 points. Werder Bremen in 10th with 12 points. Mönchengladbach 13 points in 9th place. Tim Kleinings, as you were saying, 6 goals and 4 assists in 9 games played. Great move, great piece of business by the Foles. VfB Stuttgart are in 8th, 3 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses. Level on points with Mönchengladbach, but more goals scored. Union Berlin are now at 7th with 15 points. 3 of their 8 goals allowed this season were this weekend at Bayern. Freiburg in 6th place, holding the last current European spot. 5 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. They are level on points with Borussia Dortmund and Bayer Leverkusen. Dortmund are in 5th. Leverkusen are in 4th. It's all based on the goal difference, goals scored. Milan Stiva, Eintracht Frankfurt, in 3rd place. 17 points, 23 goals scored now. They are 2nd in the Bundesliga with goals scored now. That's a fucked up stat. 9 goal difference. RB Leipzig are outright in 2nd, 20 points. 2 of their 5 goals allowed were this past Saturday. And Bayern Munich tops solo, 23 points. Oh no, it's here. They're back again.
Yeah, they are. They're back.
So we'll talk about what's going on around the Bundesliga this coming weekend later on in the show. We got to switch over to Frauen. And we're going to do the route because Bayern Munich, Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen was the last matchup of the Frauen Bundesliga match day. We're going to save the best for last. We'll start off with around the Frauen Bundesliga, and that was on Friday. A nice little Rhine derby. Unfortunately, it wasn't nice for SC Köln. They got 1. Bayer Leverkusen got 2. Werder Bremen continuing their solid start to the year with a 1-0 win over SGS Essen. Turbine Potsdam, FC Karl Heinz Jena 0-0. So still no goals for Potsdam, but they get a point. RB Leipzig with a 3-1 win over Hoffenheim. VfL Wolfsburg 3, Freiburg 0. Main event time. June kickoff. Bayern Munich, Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen 1 versus 2. The Adler rolling in. Lara Pajnikar back in the starting lineup. Nikolai Yomi, Freigang in the 10. Reutler, Greve, Dunst, midfield 3, back 4, Volter, Dorsen, Kleinherner, Larsen, and Steno Johannes in goal, who got put to work early because in the first couple of minutes, penalty conceded. They have VAR in Frauen Bundesliga, right?
No, there's no VAR, which is why that was given. Sarah Dorsen kind of jumped, turned around, arms at her side, the ball hits her elbow. I think with VAR that would have been overturned, but there is no VAR in the Frauen Bundesliga. So they awarded the penalty, and ball don't lie, Stine Johannes, great save. Stanway puts the rebound over, partially because Johannes was there to make a save if it was on target. Great work from Johannes early on. Really important to keep us 0-0 at that point.
You were starting to see what was, I think, kind of I would say scrappy games may not be the right word, but it was kind of a cagey. A little bit. Yeah. It wasn't like a clean, like it was choppy. It was a lot of, and I think that favored the home side in their game, stretching out, causing havoc, a little bit of frenetic energy. Corner, I believe, for Bayern in the 34th minute. Pernille Harder, late run, completely
unmarked on that late run, and just
back post.
Yeah, that was gotta have better defense on that one. But quite frankly, that was deserved for Bayern. I think in that half they were definitely the better side in the first half.
A little bit of adjustments in the second half when you saw the identity, the way Nico and the ladies adapted. The weather turned fucking shitty. Rain, fog, the orange ball came out. We couldn't see shit. Potential moment where Laura Freigang went solo, maybe could have squared it off, went late clearance, defender caught up, and we're like, that might have been the moment. But it wasn't, because Nicola Agnomi, team honor, putting the team. Johnny, you remember this old Madden reference? Putting the team on her back?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. No, because I'm realizing I'm getting older with society. I named my fantasy basketball team with a Chappelle Show reference, but everybody in the league is 10 years younger than me. So they're like, what's that? But she puts the team on her back. She did it for the Frauen. Great movement on there. Could have been some other chances. The ball started to tilt more in the Adler's moment. Honors even. Hell of a point game.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that the heavy fog in the second half kind of benefited us. It made it a little more sloppy overall. I was kind of surprised that it took them so long to bring the orange ball out, because you could not see shit. And quite frankly, as a viewer, we couldn't see anything because we were wearing our black kits. They were wearing their dark reds. It was really hard, and especially when they were on the other side with the cameras, absolutely impossible to watch. But yeah, Nicola Agnomi, great move. Held off the defender. Super powerful shot.
Yeah.
Great point gained. Absolutely. It would have been nice to win that game. We had some decent attacks after the Agnomi goal. Nothing like super amazing or anything, but we've played Bayern tough these past few years, and we did it again. This team is very good. I know we're still in third now, but I think we can improve upon that.
I think if anything, shows you that if we would have played like this in a match last year against them, we would have lost. Even beforehand. So I think the fact that we were able to adapt, fight back, get something back in this without playing our best.
Yeah.
I think is a good sign. I think it's a good sign for something to take forward for the fixtures, especially when you look at that in Bayern Munich's case and Wolfsburg too, right? Did Wolfsburg get through to the Wolfsburg in the Champions League group stage, right? Or did they not get through?
Yeah, they smacked Fiorentina in their qualifiers.
So this plays into account that eventually you would hope to keep your momentum going in these other fixtures, that eventually multiple competitions can wear down, say, Bayern and Wolfsburg, when you get to go at them again. So, well done, hard-earned point. Like I said, not the best effort, not the best performance, not the cleanest of games when you look at the execution, but you did enough to get the point, and that's what matters. And that's what matters in there. 1-3, 1 is good down here. So, round the table, Turbine Potsdam with their draw. Still no goals, but they got a point. FC Köln, next from bottom. They're at 2 points. third and 10th with 3 points. FC Carly Siena. SGS Essen is ninth with 7 points. Werder Bremen eighth with 11, although two wins in a row in league play. Is it 3 now? It is 2, yeah. Results in their last 3. Hoffenheim in 7th, 4 wins, 4 losses at 12 points. Freiburg is 6th with 13 points. RB Leipzig 5th with 15. Bayer Leverkusen's tied with Eintracht Frankfurt at 17 points, but Frankfurt has the tiebreaker because goal difference, goals scored, everything being awesome. Wolfsburg and Bayern Munich are tied with 19 points. VfL Wolfsburg second, Bayern tops. Both level goals. Bayern's got 1 more goal scored. So we will talk what's next for the Frauen in the after our traditional segment. I will also note you want a because I said there's going to be multiple fucked up stat times. So we obviously gave the Eintracht Frankfurt fucked up stat time. Local fucked up stat time for me for shits and giggles. Detroit sports fan here. As I'm watching right now, my beloved Detroit Pistons are 17 points on the Los Angeles Lakers, maybe going to get their second one in a row. What year is this? But yesterday, both the Pistons and Lions won both on the same day for the first time in over 1,000 days. To give you a rundown, folks, that's 3 or 4 Eintracht Frankfurt seasons. That is a fucked up stat. You know what's not fucked up? Hashtag what are we drinking? So, John, I'm going to hand it off to you. I know you've had a lot to celebrate lately. You have also had a lot to commiserate, unfortunately, with your Jaguars and your kicker not getting me shit in fantasy football this week. So, what have you had? What have you been having? What are you having now?
Oh, right now, got some Guinness.
Oh, God.
Always one of my favorites. So
look at the thing, the foam coming out too. You're really getting into it. Are you gonna do the turn on the pour, or do you turn on your Guinness pour, or do you just like? Oh, that's clean.
I mean, yeah. It's easy out of these cans. But yeah, I don't know. And then over the weekend, had a handful of different things. You know, went to the Brig to watch Dortmund versus Leipzig, had some Paulaner Hefeweizen, then later night had some Surfsides. Always nice little end of the night drink there, but can never go wrong with Guinness. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Hope producer Nathan does the video version of the episode this week so folks can see how clean that Guinness pour was. So for me yesterday, I found that later afternoon Lions games with a win over the Packers that sometimes a nice fancy famous bowl from KFC is just the thing, especially on these fall November weekends. I am relishing in today. Have a nice glass here of the Fago Cola, tried, tested, and true. Especially just watching this right now before we get into an interesting week and what will be tomorrow and afterwards in this country, and then also with our dear Adler. So for whatever you're drinking, wherever you're drinking, whenever you're drinking it, we say cheers, Prost, and all that fun jazz. Good, hits the spot. Now, obviously, we, in the purchases of videos and stuff, we're not going to be doing a whole on break segment, anything like that, unless Nathan makes one and edit and everything like that. But let's now go into what's coming up this Thursday, because it's Europa League action back at the back home, Waldstadion, Eintracht Frankfurt, Slavia Prague. Actually playing Slavia Prague, so I don't have to fuck up recap the Adler. 12:45 Eastern, another lunchtime tilt. I think Chris is going to this match.
I know he was trying to. I don't know if he did take it or not. I think hopefully. I hope he's there.
Yeah, so we might have to do some live video shenanigans from him if he's there or something along those lines. Slavia Prague. powerhouse in the Czech Liga. They are tops right now. 13 matches played. They have an 8-point gap over the team we played a match. They won in Europa League, Victoria Pilsen. They have scored 28, allowed 4 in 13. Malik Joff leading, tied with Thomas Curie in the league with goal scorers with 5. Lucas Provod with 5 assists. In the Europa League, I'm playing around with my thought bomb here. They are currently 16th in the table. A win, a draw, a loss. 3 scored, 2 allowed. They would be in the playoff as of this time stands. The Adler are currently in 6th, 2 wins and a draw, 9 scored, 6 allowed. They are currently in the stage where they are through to the round of 16 and would have the bye. So, how are you feeling going into this matchup here? A team that looks like they do a 3-4-3. At least that was their last matchup. And Fatma might not completely update me on some of this Czech stuff. Here are the cups. Here we go. Yeah, that seems to do an old Eintracht Frankfurt shape in the 3-4-2-1. But at home, you're unbeaten in Europa League so far. You've won your last 2. You're carrying a good momentum. You're unbeaten in your last 4 across all competitions. What's your level of concern on this one?
I'm concerned in the sense that, every European match is a tough one. Slavia are completely dominating the Czech League this year, which is not something they've done the past couple of years. I know they won it a couple of years ago, but not to the level that they are completely dominating this year. At the same time, 3 games played in Europa. They beat Ludogorets. They drew Ajax at home, and then they lost to Athletic Club away. I think that we've got, a similar quality to Athletic Club, if not a little bit better. We're playing at home. Waldstadion on a Europa League night is always incredible. I'm feeling good, but definitely nervous about what some of their offensive players can do.
Would you go Matanovic started again?
I wouldn't mind seeing him start just because after Uzun's goal, Marmouche looked a little uncomfortable. He kind of looked in pain during the celebration, and then I know he was
deeper too.
And then he was
the center mid.
Yeah, but then he was subbed off. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a front 2 of Ekatike and Matanovic. I don't know if Dino will do that just because of the form that Marmouche is on. It's hard to not play him. But yeah, I mean, you can also play all 3. Why not? You can always throw Can Uzun up there if you need to take one of them off later on. Hopefully he's feeling confident after that. A really nice finish for his goal.
I would think Arthur Théat comes back in. He's had a couple matches off. Looks like I would say Collins probably keeps the momentum going on there. Although this could be an opportunity to play Théat centrally.
Yeah,
you want to call Katuta and you put Brown and you keep Brown in, so you do Collins and Brown on the right.
Or you could put Nkunku back in on the left too if you wanted to. But I think the way that Brown and Collins both played would be good. And of course, Koch. I was kind of surprised he wasn't taken off. It looked like he hurt his shoulder kind of bad on that early on in the game. So I wouldn't mind seeing him rested and Théat play centrally in this one.
Yeah, and I think you can also say Tuta could be, because Tuta played central midfielder, started off in that match against RFS, and that's all Menda come in centrally. I could see Dina. I see Dina coming in here. Dina seems to be owning that the right mid side in Europa League, especially coming on as a sub in the first game against Victoria and being involved.
Although Knauf did have himself a really nice game on the weekend, but. Yeah, I think that the way Dina Ebembe has been playing and him not featuring over the weekend, I would see him back in on the right side there. And then probably we'll see Mario Gutsan on the left.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of fun, plenty of intriguing options, situations to figure out here. What are you thinking score-wise for this?
I'll go with 2-1 Eintracht. Give me Ekatike and oh man. Problem is you never know what the whole lineup is going to be, but I think that Larson will get back in the lineup, and I could see him scoring another goal.
So I'm going to go. We have seen 3-3 at the Waldstadion, 3-1 away in Istanbul. Late goal get conceded, a 1-0, which is a scrap fest. Yeah, I'll go with you 2-1. Just because I don't feel comfortable clean sheeting this one. I really don't. I think Slavia. Slavia have proven they can score goals.
Yeah.
In league play. I mean, they're proving tough in their opposition in all of their matchups so far in Europa League play. They're going to be up for it. I think they're going to have a traveling crowd. I think they're going to take in this day. But I think in the end, I think it'll be another big win, but we're going to have to work for it. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, ahead of our match, we'll talk about later. After we talk about the Frauen, that will be hopefully not too much of an effort.
I think also our team will need to recognize that, hey, this is our easy stretch of Europa League. Yeah. If we want to try to guarantee an automatic bye past the playoff round, we need a win here because we've got difficult away matches coming up after.
Yeah, agreed, without a doubt. And I think, it'll be interesting to see on here. We're gonna come back to the Männer. The Frauen are next in order. They got a night. What are they? I think I just saw them. They're on Saturday. I know that.
Yep, Saturday 8 a.m.
They are taking on SC Köln. What's up to our buddies at 50 Plus Donor? I mean, I feel like hosting at 8 a.m. My guess is DAZN's website should have this, considering they've had 6 a.m. games lately. But it's DAZN, so coin flip.
It all depends on what the games are, because they show like one per day. The other Saturday game, I think, is going to be the one that's shown, the 6 a.m. Hoffenheim versus Wolfsburg. I have a feeling that'll be shown and not our game.
Assholes. We'll keep people in the loop. Look on the loop for the HefPod social media.
Even though both of our teams in this one have much bigger fan bases than that other matchup.
Yeah, I mean, but it's weirder things. This will be, as you said, this is the second one on Saturday. Freiburg Bayern open things up 12:30 Friday. 6 a.m. Hoffenheim Wolfsburg, Frankfurt Köln 8 a.m. Saturday. Then Sunday is Bayer Leverkusen hosting Turbine Potsdam, Karl Jena Werder Bremen at 12:30, and then Essen Leipzig at 12 on Monday. So Köln next to bottom in the Frauen Bundesliga. They have scored 7 in 8 games. They've allowed 19. They had a draw in their matchup, the matchup before their last one, but had lost 4 in a row, given up. I mean, I don't know. How are you feeling about this particular? It should be a job, but Lars Diva.
Yeah, I think the Diva would have to hit pretty hard in this one. I knew Köln was going to have difficulty scoring this year, just because they lost pretty much all of their goal scorers from last year. I'm surprised that they actually have 7 goals through 8 games. I did not think they were going to be this bad defensively. 19 goals given up through 8 games. It's not the worst record ever, but yeah, not ideal. They're tough. They are very lucky that Potsdam is as bad as they are this year, and they're very lucky that the Frauen Bundesliga is expanding. Otherwise, I think they'd probably be right in that second spot, going down again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. I think that we can come away with a 3-1 victory.
Köln do have Turbine Potsdam, not the next matchup, but the matchup after on December 7th. So if they don't get any points either here or Werder Bremen, and Potsdam get another point or whatever, that's going to be a battle for, who's out of the bottom spot right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a clean sheet for the Frauen. I feel comfortable saying that. They're at home. I can see it 2-0. I think they're going to have to work it may take a minute to get that first goal. My guess is Anyomi and Greva. Those are going to be mine. Who did you say for yours?
I haven't said any. And Greva is an interesting choice for goals. I mean, I know she scored her one now, but man, every time she takes one of those long shots, it's just like, why? Come on now. Get in a little better position. Love her, though. Great player. Yeah, I feel like Anyomi gets another. She's on a heater right now. Fragging, still leading the league in goals. I say she gets one. And then give me Proshnikar for the third. She needs a spark to get going. I don't think she's played poorly necessarily, but
I don't think she's been healthy completely.
No. And she also hasn't played as many minutes. So I would like to see her get on the score sheet, spark something. She needs to get going.
So we'll obviously see. We'll have a fun update for people. I would say for anyone expecting, we'll do our recap the Adler Europa. That will be recorded Thursday, either dropped later Thursday, early Friday on our YouTube, and then a recap the Adler of the weekend that was. Look for that later on Sunday or the beginning of Monday. We will that'll just probably be a solo thing on there once not only when the Frauen matchup ends, but also the Bundesliga match that we're going to talk about. Eintracht Frankfurt have the next to last fixture in this match day. This match day starts Friday. Union Berlin taking on Freiburg at 2:30. Saturday sees 9:30 tilts. Back at your standard time. Daylight savings time is ended here as well. Bochum, Bayer Leverkusen at 9:30. You should get some. It could be painful for Bochum, or they win their first game of the year here. Mainz, Dortmund 9:30. St. Pauli hosting Bayern Munich. Werder Bremen hosting Holstein Kiel. Tippspiel, RB Leipzig, Borussia Mönchengladbach 12:30. Augsburg, Hoffenheim at 9:30. Heidenheim, Wolfsburg, the last fixture at 1:30. Our favorite fixture, hopefully, in the middle of Sunday. The Adler traveling to Baden-Württemberg to take on Stuttgart. A fixture in April last season that saw Stuttgart roll 3-0. Wasn't even close. But this is two completely different sides. Safe to say?
I don't know if they're actually, yes. Yeah, they lost a lot. I know that they gained a lot, but they did lose a lot of players, and so yeah, it's a different side for them, and obviously a much different Frankfurt side from them.
Stuttgart are unbeaten in their last four after the Bayern setback, a win at Juventus, beating Holstein Kiel, beating Kaiserslautern in the DFB Pokal, which I know a significant portion of our Hey Eintracht Frankfurt Discord loved, and 0-0 versus Leverkusen. So they have Atalanta in the Champions League, the reigning Europa League winners. That is 3:00 on Wednesday. Do you feel like this could be a match that they might rotate a little bit more than the Champions League?
Like rotate for Champions League or rotate for our game?
They might go. I'm feeling like they could go heavier strength for Champions League than Bundesliga.
I would think so. Although I don't know if they really have the depth to do that much rotation. I really like a lot of their starting players. I'm not sure they quite have the full depth to do a lot of rotation. They can do some up front and in the attacking sense. I think they need to take Champions League seriously. For them, that's how you make money. Getting through in Champions League makes you a lot. Europa League, makes you a little bit, but it's not something, if you're a club who wants to be able to put a competitive roster on the field for next year, especially if they want to keep Sebastian Hoeneß. I know there have been some rumors recently about him leaving, possibly replacing Xabi Alonso at Leverkusen. And he basically said that he would stay if Stuttgart can field a competitive team for next year. winning your.
Let me tell you how interesting it is with the Bundesliga teams in the Champions League. Now that you brought this up, there's 36 teams in the Champions League table. RB Leipzig are the bottom of the Bundesliga teams. 3 losses out of 3 goals scored, 6 allowed. Bayern Munich next, a win and 2 losses. And then you have, I'm making sure I don't forget any Bundesliga stuff in here. Stuttgart are in the knockouts. A win, a draw, and a loss in 18th. Atalanta is a win and 2 draws ahead of them in 17th. Borussia Dortmund are 11th. They're in the knockout as well, 2 wins and a loss. The one loss being a painful loss to the team that also beat them in the Champions League final in May. Bayer Leverkusen is currently the only Bundesliga team right now that would be going through to the knockout in the Champions League. So, yeah, I agree with you. This is a big moment because for Stuttgart especially too, a good result gets you. I don't know if it gets you in. It won't get you into the knockout, into the automatics because of goal difference right now, unless they really go to town. But agreed. It is money and it is prestige, and it is try to get your club back to the levels that when we were growing up. When I remember they were used to be a regular in Champions League. So. I think this is going to be a fun fixture for us. I think a lot of our guys that played in that fixture in April they have some petty in them, and they want to make it right. In your opinion, do you go the stronger side Thursday at home or Sunday at Stuttgart? Or do you try to go as strong as possible for both and do a little bit ins and out matching?
I think I'd rather go stronger against Stuttgart. I think we need to go decently strong against Slavia as well, though. It's a really good opportunity to put us in an amazing position in the Europa League. If we get a win there, we're essentially guaranteed at least making knockouts. If we get a win, it's possible that we're then really set for top 8, depending on other results. But at the same time, we need to focus on league. League it's right there for us to get a Champions League spot. Yeah. But it's really, really close. Lots of really good teams, and you want to be secure in a European spot via the league. And Stuttgart they're a tough side. They aren't playing to the levels that they did last year. Obviously, they've had quite a bit of roster turnover, but they're still a really good side. I think you need to put your stronger side out against them.
Agreed. And I think when you look at, we're going into an international front, the last international window of this 2024 calendar year for the men. Seriously, it's a blessing. I love it. I'll admit, I'm not a huge much when it comes to the international football. I think I prefer the women's international game a lot more than the men's. It probably doesn't help when John and I, being Americans, have the U.S. men's national team to constantly kick us in the nether regions. But I'm looking at this fixture list when you come back. You come back from international break. Bremen, Midtjylland in Europa League, at Heidenheim, at Leipzig and Pokal. Which right now, dude, you want to know the fucked up thing is in this? Midtjylland, I wonder if the Midtjylland Europa League gets moved up to Wednesday, because you have Midtjylland currently on Thursday, Heidenheim Sunday, Leipzig Tuesday. I think Midtjylland gets moved to Wednesday.
Would the Europa League do that?
Yeah, they've done it before. We were at Real Betis on the Wednesday.
That's right, yeah.
Because I think they had Sevilla, West Ham, and another tie. So I think it's possible, but we might also Dino and them might be fucked in the head enough to say just roll with it. But then after that, Augsburg, Lyon in Europa, Leipzig away, Mainz at home to end the window. So you have a really they're going to be intense fixtures. Whether it's with even different levels of competitive. You have teams that you know are going to be up to playing it. So, yeah, I think you want to make a good showing here. You really want to make a strong enough showing to get into the international break as you can. So give me your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Now that you mentioned, I was thinking that the international break was a week later. Now that you mentioned that it's after the Stuttgart game, screw it, go full heavy in both of these games, because I think they're both almost necessary victories if we want to be where I think that our club wants to be in these competitions. I think that Kroosche definitely wants to be top 4. He wants to be top 8 in Europa League. Put out the full squad in these. For Stuttgart, it's an away match. I think they've finally finished their renovations there, so now you've got the full home support there for them. I think it's going to be a goal fest. I'm going to go with a 3-3 draw.
Who are your goal scorers for us?
Marmouche twice and Knauf.
All right. Oh, shit. I'll agree with you in goal fest, but I ain't going to draw. I'm going Stuttgart 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 3. Demirovic and Unda for Stuttgart, because Dennis Undav's got a hot hand right now. Because I think they're going to play El Balature. They'll probably save El Balature more for Champions League.
I mean, with the form that he's on and getting the winner against Juventus, I think it's only right to play him in Champions League and save Demirovic for the league.
We are going to have goal scoring by Omar Marmouche, because death and taxes. Ekitike getting into his own. Getting the brace, I think, was massive for him on Saturday. He's been getting goals. His performances have been great, regardless. And it's not like he hasn't been having an involvement. It's just that, now he's getting back in on the goals. It helps, I think. It takes, I don't say Marmouche, it takes all weight off of Marmouche, but it means that Marmouche doesn't have to single-handedly be relied on week in, week out to bag goals. So I've said Marmouche, I've said Ekitike. I am going to say for the third one, you went Ansgar Knauf. Going Mo to Hood.
I like it. I really liked how he played this weekend. Yeah, it was interesting looking at the FOTMOB Team of the Week for the Bundesliga. We had Dahoud, Collins, and Marmouche, and I believe Knauf all on that team in their ratings. Absolutely wild.
Bonkers stat line. Very bonkers. Maybe a fucked up stat line. We'll leave it up to you.
I mean, given two of those guys are completely new to the team, Collins playing his second game, real competitive game for us.
Yeah,
that's a little fucked up.
Yeah, so I think, but it'll be a fun game. 11:30 a.m.
too.
Huh?
I said I think he had the second highest rating too. Let me go look.
Yeah, I think he looked confident.
He looks. I loved how he looked. All right, sorry. He had the fourth highest behind Kane, Kleindienst, and Marmouche, but the highest of any midfield defender.
Yeah, Dino was hey, you ready to play? And then boom. So, I think it'll be fun. I hope it is not as stress level as the score lines we predicted, but it is an entertaining. It's going to be, I think, an entertaining fixture. It's going to be two devout, passionate supporter bases, and it's going to be a fun. It's going to be. Even for the neutral, I feel I think it's going to be a fun match experience to take in. So 11:30 a.m. Eastern, ESPN Plus. Go and check that out on Sunday. That'll wrap it up for this episode, though, of the Eintracht Frankfurt podcast. 3:34 or 3:35?
I believe 3:34.
Time flies when you're having fun, folks. I've already gone through the taglines of where you can find out the show. John, where can folks find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Ben_JBen, Instagram at JohnBen33, or Blue Sky, johnben.bsky.social.
Yeah, you never know. We might be adding some Blue Sky stuff to the accounts on there. I'll leave that for producer Nathan and the crew. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, Discord at GM Comats, Eintracht Frankfurt Detroit at Detroit SGA. Now that Detroit's season's unfortunately done, we might have some Eintracht Frankfurt Detroit watch parties. I don't think it's going to be this weekend, though. Stay tuned. We might update you on that. And, yeah, I think that covers it all. In the meantime, also want to give a shout-out, as always, to producer Nathan for all the hard work in getting these episodes out, both in audio and video form, including the extra stuff we've been doing. Brian in Kansas City for running everything behind the scenes, the cool interviews, even though I do not like that his sports teams are successful right now. Chris, normally my Michigan colleague, but he's currently over in Germany for work and social, so well done to him. Miles in Minnesota for the branding and graphics. What up, fellow Lions fan? And then especially after that, apologies to Jason in Wisconsin for the Packers losing. Not sorry. You threw a pick to Kirby Joseph when you didn't need to throw the ball like that before halftime. And Matt in New York for the Instagram, who unfortunately was part of 5 New York teams or whatever it was that all lost.
Yikes.
Condolences, buddy. Condolences. At least the Jets won on Halloween for you. I think did NYCIC advance?
The Red Bulls advanced. I didn't see if I mean, to be fair, I barely follow MLS, so
no. I'm only eyeballing to see if they're doing if this fall to summer calendar is actually going to be a thing.
Which yeah, interesting, but personally, I'm not sure it's the best move for them. But you know,
stranger things have happened, right? Yeah, they I believe, they went through. They looks like I can't tell. This is so weird.
They beat Cincinnati in the second game. But
Game 3 is Saturday.
It's a best of 3, yep. So they play them on the 9th.
Yeah, words we never thought we'd say, best of 3 soccer playoff series. Hockey, all past everything like that. But yeah, if you wonder why we are when it comes to soccer in this country, that's it. All right, I'm getting off topic. So save that. We'll save that for our side content whenever we have like non-Eintracht Frankfurt stuff to talk about. But for John in Delaware, Garrett here in Michigan, thank you for checking out another fun episode of the Eintracht Frankfurt podcast. Look forward to a recap the Adler Europa coming out later this week when we talk the matchup versus Slavia, and hopefully another triumphant Thursday. We shall see. And wherever you are in this country, go out and vote if you haven't voted yet. And yeah, until next time, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and tschüss. Look at the thing, cut the foam coming out. Hey, Eintracht Frankfurt, la 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 la. Hey, Eintracht Frankfurt, la 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 la.